At D23, Disney revealed a lot of things that are coming to the Disney parks, with a heavy focus being on Disney World and Disneyland. And one of the things that they announced was there was going to be a Walt Disney based animatronic show. It seems as if Walt's family is not all on board with this, as we have a story here from WDWNT talking about Walt Disney's granddaughter is not happy with this, and basically they don't have the blessing of the family. So we're going to go into this article and talk about that. So hi, I'm Jared with Capture the Magic. And again, the headline here is Walt Disney's granddaughter disgusted, says animatronic of company founder shows lack of respect. One of the major announcements out of 2024's D23 was an upcoming debut of a Walt Disney audio animatronic figure, but not everyone in the Disney family is happy about the development. The figure is set to star in Walt Disney: A Magical Life at the Main Street Opera House for the 70th anniversary of Disneyland. The animatronic has been long rumored and controversial. In support of the figure, Walt Disney's grandnephew Roy P. Disney appeared at the event. It says, quote, creating our first Walt figure is a huge responsibility, and we've brought members of the Disney family along with us every step of the journey, says Parks Chairman Josh DeMauro. His great nephew, Roy P. Disney, visited the Imagineering campus recently to see our progress. Now, those opposed to seeing the company's founder immortalized in animatronic form are questioning why Walt Disney's direct surviving descendants weren't the ones speaking out in support. I have to say, when I was watching D23, I thought it was odd that it was like the grand nephew. Like, I'm not going to claim to know the most about like the Disney, bloodline and things, but I thought it was odd that he was the one they brought out and was just him. But I didn't really think much of it at the time, but now seeing this, like maybe there was something else to this. The Facebook page says, quote, it all started with Walt Disney is sharing messages and testimonies with from relatives and individuals who knew Walt Disney and his family. The page's organizer, Leo Holzer, posted the following statement in opposition to the animatronic based on the sentiments of Joanna Miller. Miller is Walt Disney's granddaughter through his daughter, Diane. Isn't it strange that Disney touted out Roy Pat Disney and not one of Walt's own grandchildren to deliver a stamp of approval on the audio animatronic Walt Disney for a show in Disneyland's Opera House? Well, after I shared the information with Joanna Miller, Walt's eldest granddaughter, and who is as much as a bulldog as her mother, Diane, when it comes to protecting and preserving the Disney name and legacy, she is not in favor. I am overwhelmed with disgust and anger. Mom would be ready to fight. I think it shows a lack of respect for Grandpa. Walt is already branded and being used by the company every day, yet that he exists in a film that was for his company and we have the real thing to see and listen to. We do not need to turn him into a robot. I rather feel he's being used and victimized by the company. As someone else posted, they will be able to make him do and say whatever they choose. The movements are not necessarily his. Already the smile is wrong. I had thought he had built the company and that Grandpa would be amazed at what it encompasses now. I thought that the company / Bob Iger was sensitive to the memory of Walt and the sentiments of his daughter, my mother, Diane. Joanna is arguably the most publicly active member of Walt's side of the family. She attends many events at Walt's barn and recently completed a period-specific renovation of Uncle Robert Disney's house. Holzer also shared a screenshot of a Facebook post by Miller, whose profile says it's restricted, and she said, everyone, please stop the madness. Do not let them turn my grandpa into a robot. My mom tried to stop this years ago, and they respected her wishes. There is plenty of film so people can see him and hear him talk. He has told you everything on TV show, lead-ins, and specials. Everyone who stepped forward when Uncle Robert's house was going to be destroyed, and you did it. Thank you. We have that protected because of all of you. Please help protect the memory and legacy of Grandpa. Let's say the page also had a quote from former Imagineer Blaine Gibson, taken from a 1995 interview. There are several reasons I would be against doing that, and it just isn't the, quote, sacred aspect of it. I know how crude our medium is relative to the human figure. You can't get Walt's smile. You can't program that smile that I've got on Walt's statue and have him be able to go into that. You'd have to move from a scowl to a smile because Walt at times would get a twisted up expression and one eyebrow would go up, and he had a facial range that was absolutely beyond our capability. Audio animatronic technology has come a long way from the mid-1990s, which may have negated Gibson's objections. I like the idea of this, of more Walt in the parks. Now, I did say before, if it's something that actually Walt said and not this, having basically Walt's robot up there just saying things that he wouldn't have said. But I do have to say, if the family members, if the direct descendants of Walt Disney aren't on board with this, I think the company should respect their wishes and not do this. I really do. I mean, it seems slimy to know that, more than likely they knew about, Diane, who was Walt's daughter, passed away, and it's seemingly that they're ignoring his granddaughter and finding a great grandnephew or what our grandnephew to give their okay on this. It would just put this weirdness to this show. And I think, again, I think you can do things that honor Walt without doing an audio animatronic like this. Now, the animatronic for this show is very advanced, and the animatronic itself, there's an article here from Fortune magazine that actually talks specifically about this animatronic. Said a life-size model of Disney, who died in 1966, is wearing one of the man's favorite ties and a pair of his old shoes. The model is leaning on a desk in a replica of his old office, where the entertainment industry pioneer created iconic animations and dreamed up the theme parks like Disneyland. A special light is pointed at the model's face to draw out a twinkle in Disney's eye. It says, quote, "This has been a labor of love." Tom Fitzgerald, a senior creative executive at Walt Disney Imagineering, said as he showed the prototype to Fortune on a recent tour. Fitzgerald's team is using audio animatronic technology to create a moving, speaking version of Disney, one that will stand up from the desk and tell a story. New technical methods are being employed to animate the hands and fingers. Other new technologies are being implemented to make the skin look maximally lifelike, because camera phone wielding guests will zoom in close to the model's face. "It's a new world for us, new challenges," Fitzgerald commented. But as Walt would say, it's kind of fun to do the impossible. And so, again, I mean, hearing all that, it sounds very advanced, and it sounds like the Imagineers are working on this, are really treating this with the utmost respect and trying to be as close to Walt as they can. I still think it's just as simple as, even with the best intentions in mind that you may have, if direct descendants, if his granddaughter is not only not on really on board with it, but she's vocally against this, I think it's just the best thing to do is just to not do this. I think going forward with this just comes across as greedy corporation trying to profit off of understandably, obviously, Walt Disney founded Disney, but it seems like you're trying to profit off of her grandfather and against their wishes. I just think it's better off to just don't do the animatronic, come up with a different way that doesn't involve, the wishes of his granddaughter not wanting her grandpa to become a robot. And I can understand that from, somebody whose grandfather has passed away. I don't know if I would want to see my grandfather be a robot in something that people would go watch in a show. I just, I understand that on some level. You can still do a show that honors Walt for the 70th anniversary of Disneyland. There's tons of footage out there. You can use your imagination. You can do some things that would honor him still without going against the family's wishes like this. But that's going to be it for this video. If you like this video, please like it and subscribe to the channel, as we do lots of coverage here of Universal Studios, Epic Universe, Disney World, and pop culture news. And let us know in the comments, what do you think about this? If you're somebody that frequents Disneyland a lot and you have more backstory about this, I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on this, and what you think about a potential Walt animatronic show going in, or if it shouldn't belong in the parks at all. And until next time, we will see you in the parks.